My name is Adriano Fuorivia. I've been coaching for just over 25 years right now. On this leg. Go again, do it. So do the setup and get into that position and freeze it. Right? And then, as long as you got that, that's all you think about, finish your shot. Here we go. Ready? And go. Sit, hit. Good. I've been known as the developmental coach for Denis Shapovalov, career high number 10 on the ATP rankings. I've gotten many players into the top 100 in the ITF junior rankings. Known for working with athletes from around the age of 13 and getting them into the international side of tennis. You're hitting and you're elbowing. Your elbow's going to come through the shot just to make sure. So it's like you're punching me in the face with your elbow. That makes sense? Show me, but don't hit me in the face. I knew Denis from a very, very young age. We went through all of juniors, from 0 national titles, 0 ITF ranking, to national champion. He became the number 2 junior in the world, most notably winning Junior Wimbledon at the age of 17. And, 2 weeks later beating Nick Kyrgios, in our tournament at home.
Match points.
Did I know or think that he was going to be a top pro right at the beginning? I'm going to be honest and say no. Many players are talented. I'm not a believer of the whole talent thing and it's going to work out that way. Beginning of their career, they could be 9, 10 years old, let's say. You might not be able to get to the best. You might not have the resources for the best. I think it's super important to gain knowledge from the best, and I aim for the top. And I'm here to share some of my knowledge. Okay, Danny, you're just going to be super intense. You're going to be hitting at about 75% of your power, but you're setting up early, getting to every ball, forehands, backhands, low, strong, everything. Coach Eddie's going to be volleying and just challenging some of your timing. It's not necessarily all over the place. It's more just at the baseline right now, and you just kind of taking forehands or backhands. Got it? Let's go. Ready, position. We work hard. We work harder than everybody else. So it's just a matter of just instilling, like, we're here to work. We'll do more. We'll keep doing more. I'm a big no excuse guy, right? My thing is I'm not in the business of excuses. No matter what happens, and things happen, but we have to be there and ready to take on anything. I try to make sure that they're able to be pushed and they want to be pushed. Nope. Right back, baseline. My point. That they find being pushed exciting versus like someone's just being tough on them. So like embracing it. Come on! 4. You gotta 5. Love the sport. You can't, it's not a job. 6. I get to do this every single day. And I love what I do, and it's tough, and I love pushing myself. So just very, very some of the basics that I think will just allow them to just enjoy what they do and become better, stronger. No excuses, no whining, no complaining. Take everything that comes at you and find solutions. But what do you think you could do to hurt your opponent?
Accelerate more.
Accelerate more, but I asked you to go 75%. You think you could do a better job of taking the ball early? Not letting the ball drop as much, right? That'll allow maybe less time for recovery on the other side and you to be a little bit more in offense. So can you try doing the exact same thing, but don't make any ball drop? I think it's so important that players learn how to find solutions because they're on a court, they're playing different opponents every day, and they're on their own. It's not a, now I believe in the pros, they're allowed coaching, but still for most of all juniors and so forth, they're not allowed coaching. So they got to go out there by themselves, figure it out, very difficult, still in tournaments, making their own line calls, getting ripped off on a lot of line calls and so forth, which happens a lot, but it's just, if they can deal with it and overcome it, that's, that's a great skill to have. I get to volley anywhere in the court. My court doesn't exist of any lines, you know that, so I volley in the green, it's in the green no matter what. You got to get me 10 balls in a row. If I make a mistake, we start at 0. If you make a mistake, we start at 0. If you don't get to a ball, we start at 0. Here we go, Danny. I'm a big believer in, you know, they got to attack the ball with their feet. So I firmly think that when you have those obstacles in place, that it kind of just keeps them doing the drill, or gets them to do the drill much better. We want to jump on the short ball, but we don't want to rush. So you have to kind of like doing like you're there so early, you're not rushed. You ever watch The Flash or Superman, how fast they are? So they're moving like fast, but then they're like in slow motion. So I want you to like move fast, but be in slow motion just before you hit the ball, so that you don't feel rushed. Ready? Here we go. I think also for their own visual, because I know what I want to see, but to try to get it out of a player, I think they need that. And again, we go back and we look at it in video as well. Being physical, super physical, it's another one thing that I love to bring on all my players. I feel like they can, you know, when I get them at a young age, like just about 13, 14, I feel like they're ready to be pushed. They want to be pushed. They don't know exactly what they have until they're actually pushed, you know, physically, mentally. 8, 9. Yeah! That's not 10, it's still 0. The attitude is that, hey, if you can handle me, you know that the match is going to be easy. And lastly, just getting it, you know, from Uncle Tony, I would say just enduring, teaching them to endure everything. So if they don't like something, I give them more of it. You want me to go harder? Was that too easy for you? Are you having a hard time breathing? Is that why you can't talk? Okay, let's go. 3 seconds. I say with most of my players now, I'm a firm believer, if there's 1 foot inside the court, go for your shot. They should be good enough to go for their shot at that point. Obviously, again, depends on the oncoming ball. Sometimes they're difficult, but I was trying to make that black and white in his mind so that he knew that he had the freedom to go for it, and he would be confident and more successful knowing that he thought he was going to be more successful that way. By doing this, I feel like I don't let the player get out of this tough situation, and they have to keep building a mindset of just getting to every single ball, every single time, giving their best shot. I don't allow slices, but if they can get there with 2 hands, but as long as they do whatever it takes, I think it builds character, it builds physicality, it teaches them to just fight for every single ball and never give up. I also think it's important to keep in mind to just not compare. I think when parents are comparing too much, whether it's with other players or with pros, it just can be overwhelming for the player itself. But I think it's super important to gain knowledge, and as well as maybe, you know, in my kind of rule of thumb is, if they see some coaches saying many of the same things, then that's something that I think that they should, you know, keep and add to their list. So, you know, I might be saying a few things that a few of the other developmental coaches said as well. It's like, well, they've all said this, so that it must be something that works. We're going to start off right away with the super wide low athletic base. You're going to be over exaggerating it, but again, our goal is so that you look so strong from the ground and that you're going to learn how to use the ground. Okay? Over exaggeration is great. Don't let me tell you to get lower. I have a checklist that I think works for 90% of the players, and then you tweak it up. So I think they should just take the knowledge that they think is important and most common, you know, and you do the most common things repetitively and make them better.